So I've been thinking out my game and what I do well and what I don't necessarily do so well. And I think I tend to hit pretty solid shots, but my direction control is not always what it could be. So I get myself into trouble getting into bunkers and whatnot. So I think I'm going to try working on a little bit of a different, so I've had generally swinging, sort of letting the face and pass stay together. I'm going to work on creating a little bit of a, let's use trainers completely adaptable to this too, so I'm going to go back still like I do, plain square path, but as I go through I'm going to add more tilt this way and get a little bit more vertical. The reason I'm doing that is if you look at, you know, two of the great ball strikers both use that pattern. Mo Norman and Lee Trevino both do this through the ball. So when you get through the ball, the idea, in the image, Mo believed that he was keeping the club along the ground for 14 inches completely square. Well, you can't really do that. But if that's your image, you'll see that your body, this goes very under, you stay very sideways, and you finish through the ball like that, and you can see that that face still doesn't have much rotation, right, if I go through the ball that way. So instead of letting it go, you're working on staying right there. And so it's going to be a little more, this is a little more under through the whole swing, and this always stays on top like Mo did. So I'm going to be working on that, but my real focus is imagining that the club is passing straight, if I have the view correct here, straight this way through the ball. So there's no, in my mind, there's going to be some rotation, but you can imagine, so this club is opening and closing, right? But if I counteract the opening and closing with the motion of my body that does that, you can see how that counter motion basically makes the club stay square the whole time, right? So if this counter motion counteracts the closing of the club face, and that's what I'm going to be working on. So I'll try some. It'll have to be usually best to do a partial swing. So I'm going to do that. So partial swing through the ball. Yeah, that was very, nice. Basically dead straight. It's landing 4 inches from the center line. Let's try another one. So that's not a full shot at all. So I think it's important to, especially if you're trying to change your motion a little bit, is to not do full shots. Focus on getting the motion perfect. And then this motion, because you're right here, you can start just hitting it as hard as you want. Once you get here, you can just go. Right, so try again with a little more speed. I like the feeling of it because I feel like I can go at it hard and it's not going to go off the planet. So that was a pretty good shot. So if you're curious about that, give it a try. If you have a trainer, the feeling is going to be there. As always, toss it back, heave it back, whatever you want to call it. Let it drop a little. And in this case, you're letting it drop in this way. Right? So toss it back, let it drop in, and then rotate all the way through and feel like it finishes more instead of this way. Feel like you're finishing really more this way. So allow the plane of your shoulders to get very steep through the ball, and that will keep the club face from closing. And it's a really good thing to work on if your flaw is to start hitting a big hook when you ramp up speed. That's a good move to do through the ball. You won't hook it if you do that. So give it a try.